On the South African coast, shark fishing is fast becoming a very popular part of fishing. And today we want to discuss the handling of sharks on beaches. There's a couple of things that you need to know and need to be careful of when handling sharks from a beach. We sometimes use a method of leadering a fish where your helper or fellow angler will go and grab the leader. This is a specialized technique and takes a lot of practice. If done wrong, it could quite easily result in losing the fish. The purpose for us doing it is to land the fish a little bit quicker, purely to the benefit of the fish. When leadering a fish, I normally just squeeze the line between my thumb and my index finger, not having too much pressure on the line so that it can burn. That way you can release it quickly if the fish turns away fast, and then slowly just using the waves to bring it in a bit faster. Now, when grabbing a shark, you need to be extra careful. One of the most important things when you approach a shark to fetch it, make sure that half the shark is submerged in the water only, not more than half, which can give it too much movement and too little visibility for you, and you might be bitten. So when the shark is exposed enough, you quickly run down and put both hands around its caudal notch. That is situated right in front of the tail. In some cases, when the water is enough, like with a reggie, you can grab the tip of the tail and guide it with the waves closer to the shore. Now make sure you keep the shark on the wet sand where there's the odd bit of wave water coming through, that you can wet it regularly. It's important for them to stay wet. When pulling the shark closer, make sure there's enough water so that you do not dislocate the spine. If you put too much pressure in dragging the fish, this becomes very possible. When the shark is secure on wet sand, it's time to remove the hook. Now, special care should be taken that your hand is not too close to the mouth when it swings around, and never ever stick your hand into a shark's mouth. Rather get yourself a hook remover, available at several tackle stores in South Africa. This makes the job a lot easier, and is definitely needed when the hook is wedged inside the mouth of the shark. On several occasions we'll find some of the bigger sharks with a whole bunch of parasites on them. Be courteous enough to remove some of these parasites. This is just a good gesture. Guys, be considerate that when the shark is on the beach, it's not in its natural environment, which makes it very uncomfortable, scared, and possibly frantic. And a lot of the shark species will try to bite you, purely out of fear. Similar principles apply when releasing the fish. Put your hands firmly around the caudal notch and wait for the waves to bring enough water for you to be able to drag the fish without too much pressure on its spine. When you've reached deep enough water, just use the momentum to swing the head towards the sea and then push it into a wave with enough water behind you that will come back and assist the shark in swimming away. Now, with smaller sharks, it's very possible to pick up the shark. I wouldn't recommend this. I would still handle them by the tail, except when it comes to the hound sharks, where you'll put one hand around the caudal notch and the other on the pectoral fin. This also semi-immobilizes the fish, and you can carry it to a safe spot to put it down, keeping in mind it needs to be on wet sand. Guys, remember to take special care of these species so that our kids and their kids can one day experience this awesome experience of catching, landing, and releasing a big shark. And as we always say, in every type of fishing, even in all types of sport, consideration is the key word.